Alrighty, so here's the power rankings that I've put together, and at least this is the current state. This is as of 2:45 p.m. November 17th, 2020, for how the 2021 LCS rosters are shaping up. So I'm going to go on through them just to voice them out loud, and then do a slight discussion of at least the rankings based on what I'm seeing, and based on also what we don't know for some. So starting out, TSM has secured Huni in top lane. They're keeping Spica in the jungle. They have gotten PoE into mid lane. The high discussion point there is just how long do they expect to keep PoE? Double if they retained, even after some questionable rumors going on. Sorted has been the announced, and I have yet to actually get any true confirmation. I think there's a lot of tie-up with that. I believe Jacob Wolf clarified this last night on the Wolf Bomb stream on Evil Genius's Twitch channel, that Sword Art might be who they're paying apparently a lot of money for, but there's a lot of opportunity for immigration to screw over this acquisition. So this is still on timid ground. Team Liquid has locked in theirs. They've landed Alfari over from formerly OG, now Astralis and EU. So they've got a monster top lane. They've brought Semteron over from FlyQuest because FlyQuest has just blown up their previous roster. Jensen has stuck with the team, and he'll be with them for another year or two. I can't remember the contract. Tactical, as we all know, is one of the shining rookies out of NA in the last year, so he's sticking with them, and I'm pretty excited about that. And they've kept Core JJ, and this is just a star-studded lineup. This is actually hanging out at like top in the league and was number one in the league until C9 made their announcements. EG has gotten Impact. They're keeping Svenskeren and Jizuke, that's what makes this Huni acquisition from TSM very strange. I imagine EG got perhaps a really good buyout for that. And the EG roster can be its own. We'll get into all the nuances and talks about it, but Jizuke and mid lost in ADC, and then Ignar from FlyQuest to them as support. Golden Guardians blew up their entire roster. We have nothing right now. The free agency database has a lot of free agents available. Just to scroll through here really quick with a lot of familiar names. There's a lot of free agents sitting out there. Palafox is acquired. That needs to get updated. Yeah, some of this needs to get updated, honestly. But yeah, there's a lot of free agency hanging out. So it'll be very curious to see what Golden Guardians build leading up to perhaps even the beginning of the season. Darduck's been the only sort of confirmed part of the Dignitas lineup. I believe Afromu is still available. Let me see here. Come here. There we go. Just smoothie. Okay. So I'd imagine Afromu is probably still on Dignitas, so that may be just taken for granted. Confirm changes, yeah. If Froggen's gone. Yeah, Dignitas released Viper, Froggen, and Phoenix. So it's actually a big question of who are they putting mid. It's a really big question for them. But so Dig's pretty much unconfirmed right now. There's a lot of options, but that's its own discussion. Over on this column, 100 Thieves have kept Sunday. They got Closer and Demon to FBI and Huhi out of Golden Guardians. So I think they just looked at GG and went Sunday instead of Hunter, and we'll be really happy with this team. So there's a lot of good hype. I think there's a lot of proper hype around this. The Closer FBI announcements were fantastic videos. Go find those on 100 Thieves Twitter. They're just nailing it down there. CLG are just missing their ADC. It's not clear if they're gonna. I can't remember if they're gonna keep Stixay or not. Let me see here. Nope, nothing there. So Stixay is unconfirmed if he's staying with them or they're gonna be traded off somewhere. Stixay hasn't really done a lot in a while. He got his highlight moment in his rookie year at MSI, and it just hasn't gone anywhere from there. Immortals secured Revenge. That was the last Wolf Bomb last night. They've brought Xerxes over from Astralis, formerly OG, from LEC. They've kept Insanity, who was their mid laner near the end of last year of 2020 summer. Raze is coming in Destiny for support. Now C9, this was actually one of the biggest. This is the biggest roster upgrade and probably a region upgrade. Fudge replacing Licorice from OCE with the rule changes that Riot put in near the end of Worlds. So that's what led to Licorice making his change. Blabber's retained. Perks in mid, which I think will be a great mentorship for Blabber as well as Fudge and even Vulcan. Perks in the mid lane, which is the biggest acquisition NA's probably could ever claim. Sven and Vulcan retain in the bottom, which I think is a great idea. I think if they would have kept the exact same roster, we would have been happy about it, but the level of upgrade for Perks over Niski is loud, proud, and obvious. The upgrade over Fudge over Licorice is not yet clear or proven on at least a professional stage yet. Like when FlyQuest versus C9, this could be a good grudge match, at least on the top side of the map. So FlyQuest acquired Licorice, which a lot of us are happy about because Licorice was having some rumors of going to TSM. Jose Diodo, which is the first, I believe, it is Latin American import since Quas back on Team Liquid or Team Curse, back in the day when I Will Dominate still had a career. I love I Will Dominate. I'm just joshing with them. So Jose Diodo, one of the standout Latin American players during group stage, during Worlds. Palafox, who Dominate's been really hot on and really high on out of Academy for a while, one of the best mid laners in Academy. Definitely, who was on C9 2 Worlds ago and just played some end of groups rounds. I'm excited to see how good he is. Degon's been hyping him on Face Check for... He actually had a whole year of just trying to hype up Deftly, and Deftly like went quiet. I think he was over in Academy or whatnot. And then Diamond coming up from C9 Academy over to FlyQuest. And Diamond, the fun little shout out for him from what it appears, because I just started following him last night during the Wolf show. Diamond looks like to be like a solid just banter player. So I'm really excited to see just what kind of salt nonsense he throws around and how he is in interviews. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So my rankings are C9 on top of TL. TL and C9 will be battling for top. Unless there's crazy fall aparts like TL did in spring, or C9 did in summer, I would expect these two to be fighting for top. I have TSM as top 3, mostly because of PoE, and that's kind of it. Huni is so well known. Spica, I think with PoE will work out pretty well because PoE worked well with Santorin, and Santorin's gotten the upgrade. I think Doublelift is in retirement phase. I'm ready for Doublelift to retire, not out of any salt or flame or hate for the guy. I think that what he did on Team Liquid during spring in 2020 was just him going, I'm set, I'm secure, I've got the girl. I don't think he's got a crazy competitive drive anymore. I just don't think he does. And the sword art thing isn't even, it's confirmed that that's what they want to do, but that becoming reality is still far and away and entirely based on immigration. What was it? King was locked in immigration visa hell for what felt like a year. So TSM's kind of hanging out up there. The EG roster, I think, can actually be very hype. I think I was talking with LCS Worlds with Friends on Twitter, and EG reminded me of Fnatic of 2020 in that you have two crazy going all in all the time with Jizuke and Ignar. I don't know much about Lost. And you have Svenskeren and Impact is quite reserved people, and if Impact is on an engaged tank, like I remember him on like Nautilus top lane like seasons ago, and it was just flawless for engages and calling it. So I think EG will actually definitely contend, but they're kind of hanging out here with FlyQuest and 100 Thieves, because FlyQuest this setup here, if Palafox shows up and Jose Diodo can actually like get some synergy with everyone, even with the language barrier, that would be just fantastic. So the thing is that FlyQuest with an imported talent, a rookie, and a rookie basically, like it's a rookie roster with Licorice as their anchor veteran personality, but I think the Licorice is a well-spoken player. I am not aware of how likely he is to mentor, because him and Fudge were going back and forth and challenging and coaching and building up each other, as I would expect out of the C9 culture. but it's just I don't know if he's going to be the one to lead them and get all them sort of developed and up and going. Um, Next up, 100 Thieves. I think there's actually I like this roster. I think FBI has actually stepped up, and he had a really good step up near the end of going into playoffs and at the end of playoffs. He's just got to run it down less at the clutch moments, and I think getting those failures in is going to make him safer. We just need to hope that he doesn't fall off like Cody Sun kind of did in this last year, because Cody Sun had his horrible show at I think 2018 Worlds on Clutch, I think, or 100 Thieves, where he just like debuted in on Tristan and just like fed his brains out. And then came into Clutch and had a really good time because of the Kaisa Zaya meta that let him just clean up fights really well. FBI on that Callista in like their game 5 against TSM, they looked primed to like take TSM out of the playoffs, and FBI just got too desperate and didn't fall back. And once he died, that was the end. That was unfortunately the end of their run. And who he has been developing as a bot laner. And Demonte, I think, he came in like middle of last season to replace Golden Glue, I think. And Closer's a monster, and Sunday's a monster. So like I think this team has a lot of potential for, and I think it's actually built quite well. The best news, at least with like 2 Koreans having like their own synergy with top and support, FBI, Demonte and Closer, all of them are gonna be able to speak English and I think communicate well. And I want to focus more on communication in regards to how they do their roster reviews, their game reviews, the ability to communicate at higher level concepts. You must be able to speak the same language first, I would think. Because you can have translators, but me being able to discuss with you directly is so much more impactful and important, I think, for people to connect together on concepts instead of through a middle person. Next up, Immortals. Immortals is just kind of hanging out up top here. I feel it's a very untested roster. I think is Destiny over from LEC? Come here. Destiny. Okay, so he's coming from... Okay, so he's coming from EU, from Astralis. Okay, so he was bot lane with Upset. Yeah, Destiny was bot lane with Upset over in Europe. So Destiny's gonna have his own backstory. Xerxes is a solid jungler, not the most risky or advantage taking. It's a curiosity how much he's going to be able to influence Insanity, and maybe there's development there with just such an old veteran as Xerxes. And then Insanity's pretty new talent. Raze is from... Okay. Come here. Raze is coming from Legacy Esports. So he's coming... Yeah, so Raze... What is he? Yeah. I remember him in Worlds now. He was actually a shining light there on his team. Yeah, on Legacy. Yeah, he was a shining light there. I would have been happy with Legacy getting out of the qualifiers, out of the play-ins. They would have gotten trashed like Unicorns of Love did, but it's getting a lot of OCE talent in here and mixing them up. It's weird. It's weird how it feels like NA teams trust Australian talent more than natural NA talent that doesn't come from C9. Like that's the biggest tragedy there. At the bottom, CLG. I am not high on Pobelter anymore. I can't be high on Pobelter. I don't think I ever was. Brock says just ended up on CLG. Finn was never a very overwhelming part of Rogue over in LEC. Smoothie, I think, is just in jail, and their ADC could be Stixay again. And of course, like I said, there's a lot of free agency. It's like, so, wish they had more. It's gonna actually... doesn't do that. Can I sort this at all? That'd be great. Broxa, Smithy, Phoenix, Palafox. Not a lot of fun here. Okay. So yeah, nothing too special there. So yeah, can't easily find anything there. So and then Dig and Golden Guardians they're just at the bottom because there's no roster built for them, or there's no announced roster yet. So it's really hard to like rank them. Golden Guardians blew up all their roster, and 100 Thieves just picked it up as they dropped it. And Dignitas, yeah, no idea. They've got Dardoch. You know, hope for Dardoch to like have a shining day one day, but likelihood is just so low. So yeah, I think this is actually gonna be a really exciting year with just how much rookie talent has come in effectively from OC, from NA, from Academy, from Scouting Grounds. It'll be a good year. I think it'll be a really good, fun year. And I hope these orgs and teams have learned, and players have learned to ignore the mob, because I think it'll help them way more going forward and to be truly contending on international stages.